Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I think this is the second roundup episode we've done. So myself and Keith today are just going to have a bit of a chat around, yeah, just some things that have been going on this month in various different worlds, and yeah, see how we get on. So, Keith, how are you?
Yeah, good, Martin. Yeah, we've had some wet stuff landing on the ground called rain, which is weird because here in the UK, of course, it's seen as a rainy place. But no, I mean Yorkshire's officially in drought, and we've had quite a dry, hot summer. So we're hoping to get a bit of rain. So I'm fine apart from the lack of rain, but we've got plenty to talk about, haven't we?
Yeah, loads. Yeah, good job Bean's not here because I think all they've got is rain at the minute over in
Oh yeah,
Queensland. Yeah,
it's appalling, and in New South Wales as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I turn the telly on to watch the Australian Rugby League, it's raining at the minute.
Well,
And
yeah,
well, not raining. It's like torrential. It's either not
yeah,
raining or it's never in between. So
yeah, and for
never that dry
days on
rain you
end.
get in England. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, another packed month, even though it's August, which tends to be
Mm,
a little bit quieter.
mm,
Um, just in coach development terms, and yeah, and obviously the academic world normally goes to
mm,
sleep for August. Well, not asleep, but
mm.
certainly a lot less busy, but still been busy. So yeah, lots to chat about, as you say. Don't know
Mm.
where to start really. Well,
Well,
go on,
go
so
on.
go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's plenty to talk about in terms of writing and some books that are coming out.
Yeah,
Hopefully, in the future, and also some conferences coming up as well. Preparing for
yeah,
them.
yeah. So I know we've done a couple of chapters for a colleague of yours. Is it? Sorry, his name escapes me.
Nunes, Dr.
Nuno
Nuno
Nunes.
Nunes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And is he
So
based in the UK, Keith?
yeah,
No.
Nuno's based at the University of Southampton,
Right. Okay.
and he's commissioned a book that Routledge are publishing, and that's due to be the chapters are due to be submitted in September, and then they're going to be reviewed, and the book will probably appear. All things, well, with all the chapters and the review process, probably um, sometime before the middle of next year,
Right.
2026.
Right. And sorry to put you on the spot because I can't remember. Can you remember the title of the book?
The I know the topic, the title probably might undergo some changes, so
Yeah.
we can't be too precise about that. But it's a really interesting topic because it deals with the EPPP,
Yeah.
which is the plan that
Elite Player Performance Plan. Yeah.
that's it, the elite player performance plan that the Football Association holds professional academies at professional clubs, holds them to in terms of how to train the young professionals of the future. And so that's quite interesting because I'm not aware of another book. I'm aware of articles that have looked at EPPP practices and compare youth academy training and coaching across the different professional leagues in Europe, for example. But I'm not aware of anyone that's commissioned a book about people writing about topics that are relevant for um, EPPP coaches in the academy
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and we've contributed two chapters to that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
one sort of exploring this, I suppose, some ideas that Jamie Hamilton exposed us to around relationalism in terms of like a game model, game method, and positionalism as well. So that I think people might find that interesting, just in regards to, well, what are they first, and then trying to unpack what it might mean for the long-term development of young academy players or even elite level pros as well. So yeah,
mm,
thinking about that from an influence on skillfulness and player behaviour. So
mm,
that should be interesting with a real range of colleagues as well. So
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but
including some coaches who work at uh, in the professional coaching system
yeah,
in the academy setting and at the level at the first team, and of course yourself, who works as a coach educator with professional football academy coaches and others. So it's definitely a chapter that's focused on applications in practice based on skill acquisition theory, motor learning theory.
yeah,
And so that it's been a very enjoyable book chapter to be working on, because pulling together contributions from, some really talented individuals like yourself, and Fabian Otte is another one,
yeah,
Darren
sure, yeah,
Hughes,
yeah,
Jim Mackay giving a perspective from rugby union. Ian Renshaw is on it as well. So yeah, it's
yeah, yeah,
Peter Sturgis.
yeah, yeah. And then the other one was some nice practical examples of practice design, and then also thinking about how we might look at coach development differently to support coaches as well. So yeah, no, hopefully they make a good contribution. And you must remind me before we finish, one of the highlights this month. I want to go back to Darren Hughes, because he was involved with definitely a highlight from this month in regards to coach development. Yeah, so
Good.
yeah,
Yeah, Darren. Yeah. Really, he uses ecological principles in his coaching work, and he's also starting to influence the coaching practices of other coaches at the club he works at.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he's got a position, a leadership position now,
Mm.
and he really is leading and showing the way and trying to transform practice. So, well, on that then, rather than wait till then, because I will forget. Yeah, the
Mhm.
highlight. So, from more of a applied perspective, working with coaches. So, I invited Darren to come along and just chat to a group that I'm working with about practice design, and I was blown away. Like, um, where he's at now and the way he's thinking about practice and his application and his understanding of the theory into practice, and then how the practice so really challenging me the other way, is like, wow, like he's really nailed it,
Mm.
and he's doing some really good stuff. So yeah, and he basically did an online presentation and then some questions, and it was just a fantastic session. And I know you've
Mm.
not got the context, and but for the situation we're in, we can't get out on the pitch and actually pull things around and try things and chat. Although that is part of the program. Yeah, but it was really good. Like some really good ideas and the examples and the application. It's really impressive. So there's lots of good
Mm.
stuff going on out there, Keith. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's wonderful to. I'm so glad to hear that, Martin. But of course, you and I first came into contact with Darren and his colleague Alan Wright, the coaching when they were coaching at the professional football academy, and we were invited to do what they called a masterclass, but it was just like a presentation to the League Managers Association back in November 2023, if you remember. And the, the people who invited us were very clear that they wanted it to be like not just a theory session, a lecture, as they put it. They wanted us to explain the ideas in terms that were understandable to professional football managers and coaches working at that elite level, but
Yeah,
also they wanted us to work with colleagues who could demonstrate these ideas in practice, which I thought was a good idea on their part. And we got Darren and Alan involved, and it was an amazing session at the West Bromwich Albion Stadium, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. I do remember it well. Yeah, it was a great experience because I can remember I can remember on the drive down in the car was a bit like, oh God, how do we pitch it? Wonder what the response will be. But
Yeah.
I mean, we probably drove away and they were sticking the fingers up. No, no, I'm joking. No, but they're really receptive. Some great questions, and I always think that the way it's been received, you can normally tell it when there's a break or there's you have lunch and people are coming up and asking questions. So yeah, that
Mm.
was a good experience. Yeah, and obviously Alan and Daz delivered that session. It was actually called Sweatbox, the practice
Yes,
bit.
yes.
Um, yeah, I can remember it well. Yeah, no, it was a really good experience, and I do think as well, like there seems to be a real shift uh, in the way a lot of in England, I'm talking football academies are thinking
Mm.
and changing. So there is definitely people talking and thinking differently about practice design.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, interesting landscape to keep an eye on. I think moving forward, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. For example, this coming Friday, the 29th of August, I've got a presentation it's online, but I've got a presentation to the Scottish Football Association to their advanced children's license, which is like an award, a professional award that if you want to coach in the Scottish Football Club's academy, then you have to have the advanced children's license,
Yeah,
and they have like over a year or more. They have a period of sessions and training and observations and stuff like that, and then eventually they're either awarded the license or they're not. I've been lucky enough to be invited by the leader of that organisation, leader of that course, Martin Bucky, his name is. He works for the Scottish Football Association, and this will be the third year running that I've been invited to do the presentation. It's a nice hour and a half session, and I keep it nice and applied, and it's interactive. So I'll have pauses in the middle of the talk, and then the listeners' audience breaks out into groups and chats with each other about issues and ideas, and then I ask them to report back about how what they made of an idea in practice and all that. And yeah, so you're right. I think football, professional soccer football in this country, the coaches are switching on to an ecological approach.
yeah, they're definitely becoming more curious. I think about
Mm.
practice design and the whole notion of practice design, because typically what you get is sometimes a lot of copying and just reproduction of ways of doing it. Or have you got a session for this or a session for that? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what that's what Darren really zoomed in on, is this idea of like, if this is whatever your intention is, how do you go about then designing it and taking
Mm.
information from the game? So we had a great few slides where he showed like angles and space and numbers of players
Wow.
and working and using all that information then how do you then design that, use that information to design a more representative practice. So yeah,
Mm.
really interesting. Keith, just curious there, when
Mm.
you're working or like those presentations, like what are are there any common themes, questions that the coaches ask you or concerned about, or maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
A lot of the coaches don't come from a traditional academic background. There are some that do, but mostly they come from a playing background, and they come to the coaching side. And it's quite interesting because a lot of them comment that they thought it was fairly straightforward. Uh, when they were playing, they just looked at how people coached, and it was sort of, oh, well, you tell players what to do, and the players do it, and that's your job done. And then they realize how hard it is, how challenging it is to coach and teach and educate in a meaningful way, not just um, pass on verbal information, knowledge about the environment, as it were, or just show a load of video clips or whatever, but to design, to present material in a way that the players can understand. And they ask questions. So these coaches on these courses are very interested in the ideas, but very much how they can be applied,
Yeah,
which is obviously that's professionally important to them, and that's quite right. And they do like the ideas of, I mean, a big one I present is the difference between skill adaptation and skill, which is, about adapting to variability in a performance environment, variability in context, compared to repetition, rehearsal, and consolidation of a technique, often in isolation, with unopposed practice. That idea seems to be seeping through now, and coaches do realize, that they have to make practices more dynamic, more varied, more challenging, problem solving. And they also get the idea that if the learners are overwhelmed, or they've made it too dynamic, too varied, too challenging, they can go backwards a bit and simplify things. For example, if they're talking about problem solving and decision making, they can go back to a two-choice decision, which, in a very dynamic, competitive performance environment like in team sports, two-choice decisions, you'd be lucky if you get a two-choice decisions. Mostly there's multiple choices, multiple affordances, if you like.
Yeah.
Available, and so they're getting that idea, and people are interested in it. They don't want to do PhDs. Some do. Some, like one of the best coaches that I've seen putting these ideas into practice is Fabian Otte, the Tottenham Hotspur first team goalkeeping coach, who was at Liverpool last year, and he was also at Borussia Mönchengladbach before that, and he was the US men's national team goalkeeping coach. So he's been around, Fabian.
What a CV!
Yeah, amazing. He coached at a high level, but he's also got a PhD in skill acquisition. So, but there's very few coaches. There are very few coaches that will go to that level, to go into that much in terms of understanding the literature and actually writing papers and conducting research. But more and more coaches are definitely becoming interested in the theoretical ideas and putting it into practice. And there's some good role models out there for them to follow. Fabian's a great one to observe. He puts a lot of videos up on YouTube and other social media sites, I imagine.
Well, his post framework I find really useful. And I use it quite a bit when working with coaches, just to get people to think how they can construct practice over certain time periods, even over the over a week, like what you might be doing, but crucially why. Do you know what I mean? So you might have lots of exploration early on in a week, for example, if you're playing on a Saturday, but then there's a reason, there's an intention for it, and then more dynamic team sort of practice maybe later on in the week. So it's definitely done some useful stuff. Just thinking about the world of sport, Keith. Did you want to have a chat about Tottenham's win at the weekend, or Tottenham? Don't have to.
I actually went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first game of the season, actually.
Oh, wow.
Against Burnley. And it was a very good atmosphere there, and it was good to see firsthand Fabian on the pitch warming up the goalkeepers. And going back to your, you mentioned his post framework and how he tapers the amount of variability and adaptations that he demands from the goalkeepers in his practice design, because the closer to competition and performance, he tapers it so that he's focusing on confidence. The goalkeepers, being very clear about what they're doing and confidence. But earlier in the week, or certainly earlier in pre-season, well away from competition, he challenges the goalkeepers. I watched his warm-up, and that was kind of very dynamic. It had some distractions in there, like he himself would be wandering into the eyesight of the goalkeeper when they're saving a shot or fielding a high cross. Fabian would make sure that he was there trying to distract the goalkeeper a little bit, but no actual physical pressure or any simulations that were too close to match play. So he uses that post framework in practice. So it was good to see that. A lot of variability, a lot of dynamic. So the goalkeepers play out a sequence of events in the warm up rather than just do repetition of like a shot and then another shot is saved and then another shot. It's kind of angles. He forces the goalkeepers to change their positioning, their location, the way that they, what I call, address the performance environment, the way that they orient their body in space, the way that they use their footwork, the way that they have to perceive information to, because basically it's about the goalkeepers getting the angles right between the goal, the each post of the goal area, and also the where the shot's coming from. If the ball is knocked out, that they, in Fabian's practices, they'll often play on to someone else will be shooting, so the goalkeeper has to get up and to make another shot. It's never done never reproduced in isolation, if you like. Each save. So
cool. And and as well, I was referring to it was 2-0. They beat Manchester City. That was right on the weekend, wasn't it? So
yeah.
What did you see? Like, did you see anything different in how the team were playing, or?
Yeah, it's interesting because for those who are not too familiar with English Premier League football, Tottenham have got a new coach, Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
He joined them for pre-season, and he's very quickly changed the way that they operate as a team. He's very strong on. So it was interesting to observe him talking to players individually before the game. Not giving huge instructions and that, but a lot of it is pretty much about using emotional intelligence to support players, make sure that they're confident, they feel good, they're clear about what they're doing, etc. And it's showing on the field. He's known to be a coach who uses flexible, adaptive approaches. So he will change a system from game to game, depending on the opposition. He'll play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's very adaptable like that. And sometimes within a game he'll change, but typically it's between games. So depending on the opposite, so performance analysts will come in. He works with a team of coaches, so they'll prepare the players in the week for each specific opponent. And yeah, so it's been good to watch his approach to coaching. With that, Ian's joined us.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Ian.
Sorry for being late.
You're all right.
Helping clear some stuff out the back of Matthews, and we came across a carpet python.
Oh, wow.
So
that's an excuse that you can sort of go, oh, all right, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And actually, having lived in Australian Queensland as well, I could say, oh yeah, I mean, I could completely believe that as well, because we came across quite a few carpet pythons. Yeah. Luckily, they're not the most poisonous snake in the world.
No. It's so Matthew was just cutting a tree back, and he just went, oh, took him back. But the next door neighbour but one, he's, oh yeah, do you want me to come and move it? Yeah, yes. Please.
Yes.
So he came around with his stick, and he's just gone straight, because he went up into the tree. It was about 2 meters long.
Oh yeah.
But a baby, quite a baby one.
Only in Australia.
Oh yeah.
So he gets his stick out and then just grabs it around the neck and puts it in a dustbin, or like a bin, and then I'll take it down the creek.
Yeah, that's right.
So, sorry, distracted.
Sorry. No, it's right. Straight into business. Sorry, actually, Keith was just talking about Thomas Frank and how quickly he's changed the way Tottenham are playing, and they're also very adaptable from week to week. But Ian, that links to something we were discussing last time about Ross and this idea of single session. Was it single session?
Yeah.
How quickly you can change behaviour or influence skillfulness, I suppose, in just through your coaching practice, and that's why coaching practice design is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we prioritize it. You know, I sometimes I'm baffled that it's not even like on a top 10 list of things that you might be working on as a coach. Practice design, I'm not saying it's forgotten about, but it's just doesn't seem to be a priority with a lot of national governing bodies or whoever it might be. Yeah.
Not sexy, is it? You know, like the 1%.
I think it is.
Sexy. Well, I do as well, but maybe we're odd.
Yeah.
It's the 1%ers, isn't it? Like I can remember I think Keith might have been at QUT and we put in for a grant, and you know, and it didn't get up because they wanted some technology or something, you know, like something whizzy rather than like change your whole program, design your whole program. You can make a massive difference.
Yeah.
You know,
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he's done well, Frank, hasn't he?
So far, so good. I mean, you know, who knows how the season's going to end up, because if it was just down to high level coaching, you know, that's one thing, but then there's a lot of luck involved, you know, players getting injured and, you know, sort of the opposition. The Premier League seems to get stronger and stronger every year, you know, with teams that are so-called mid-table teams, you know, getting into Europe now, winning trophies for the first time in their history, for example. So it's getting more and more competitive.
Yeah. And it highlights the importance of recruitment as well, doesn't it?
It does.
But recruiting your manager, not just your players, I guess.
Well, it's multifaceted, like group dynamics. So I was watching Sky Sports on the weekend, Ian, and there's something brewing at Forest, isn't there, with with the manager and the owner, and there's is it Edu, the director of football? There's a funny triangle, and so that potentially could have an impact on the team.
There's another layer as well, agents involved.
Oh yeah,
competing agents as well. So I don't want to get pulled up for libel or anything like that. So we'll cut that. just watch that space.
Yeah, just watched the game this morning. Standard Newcastle Liverpool game. You know, absolute chaos, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah. And I knew it was coming. You could just feel it coming. You go, I don't believe it.
Wow, what was it? Go on, enlighten me. What was the score? I noticed.
Well, it's in the context of Liverpool trying to buy Newcastle's the player who won't play.
What's his name?
Isak.
Yeah. I'm aware, yeah.
And they've gone to St James's, which can be reasonably intimidating at the best of times.
And the crowd were really up for it. They were just booing every touch and cheering everything. It was like a cauldron. It really was.
Every throw-in was cheered. Every tackle was cheered. The ref, I thought that, to be fair, the ref did pretty well.
He did great. He really did great without being too officious. He kept the lid on things. But of course, with that atmosphere created by the crowd, of course, one of the players has to take it too far. I mean, you know, the high pressing scenario is nearly every team's playing it now, you know, but you can tell this is going back to the skill of it all, you know, so pressing is a skill in itself. I mean, it's not celebrated like someone would celebrate scoring a goal, but, you know, like a good presser, a person who could press the opposition and bring teammates into the press as well. They're worth their weight in gold. And you can tell a forward pressing because they often got a lot of speed. They'll run at the defender and they won't do, or the opposition has got the ball, the forward, they'll run at them and they won't do what a good defender, a good presser will do, which is to slow down as you've reached them close. Went straight through, and actually it brought PTSD to me because that was exactly how I broke my leg playing football. Exactly that type of tackle that went through the standing leg. And so the player got sent off anyway, is the long story short. So Newcastle down to 10 men, weren't they?
Yeah. 2-0 down, came back to 2-2 in the 88th minute.
With 10 men.
With 10 men. Crowd are going nuts. But the concussion 10 minutes before that gave them 11 minutes of added time. And literally they scored a 16-year-old. Was he on
Liverpool?
debut?
Yeah, I mean, could there be more drama?
No.
Youngest goal scorer in Liverpool.
30 seconds to go. 30 seconds to go. And he just comes in and scores. I knew it was coming.
Well, the interesting thing about this, again, the skill, the ball was played across the box. And afterwards, one of the coaches, so this guy wasn't, it wasn't just a shoe-in, a tap-in. He had a bit to do. He was at an angle and a bit further out in the box, the young lad. And afterwards, one of the coaches mentioned in the change room, apparently, oh, I suppose he could have taken a touch and had a shot. He hit it first time. This came across, your chance to win the game. He didn't think about it one instance. He hit it first time. It just slammed into the back of the net. He went absolutely doolally, as you would as a 16-year-old scoring. So that was quite interesting. Another dynamic, talking of professional football academies, Martin, he was at Chelsea's academy, the kid, until last year, and Liverpool brought him across from Chelsea's academy.
Oh wow! Oh dear.
Yeah.
The other one, sorry, there was that young lad made his debut for us as well. He was only 15, wasn't he? I don't know if his debut, but he came on towards the end of the game.
Premier League.
Yeah. It was right. Okay, yeah. 15. Wow. Well,
he's already played. He played in pre-season friendlies and stuff like. Max Dowman, his name is.
Yeah. Young baby face. But what you're just talking about there with the Newcastle Liverpool game, it just goes to show all these different constraints just intertwining and influencing behaviour. So clearly the crowd, the occasion, the Isaac situation, all this is contributing to what's going on into the performance and which is so important.
The politics, the immediate politics, what's going on. It wasn't Liverpool's fault, because every club's trying to sign players, etc. So if everybody took umbrage without sort of upsetting Newcastle fans, everybody would be booing everybody else because it's a competitive, fierce world out there. They want to get an advantage.
So Forest had the same thing at Crystal Palace, didn't they?
Yes.
Forest were costing them their Europa place because they had or they only had two clubs or whatever. And apparently the atmosphere was pretty febrile there. I think you might describe it. But it just made me think of that affective, the learning to play with emotions, isn't it? About so in affective learning design, effectively is like and the standard approach is to remove all the emotion, remove the performance variables as they would describe them, because they affect learning and skill. But in the end, you've got to play with emotion. You're going to play massively with emotion, haven't you? So they need strategies and I think, to be fair, Gordon just got done on complete sort of enthusiasm and trying really hard and
too hard.
Tried too hard.
It does go back to skill, a lack of skill. You see, now people think skill's just technique and action, shooting or dribbling and that. But there's skill in pressing, there's skill in the way that you address the ball, the opposition receiving the ball, etc. And that is down to good coaching. So one way of helping players to cope with these, as you say, Martin, really well picked up, all the social things that are going on, the cultural, the traditions, the history between clubs and maybe even two individual players, for example. The one way to deal with all of that is through good coaching, setting up practices that prepare the individual for the different roles that they now have to undertake.
Makes me think there, Keith, as well, with when Ferguson got rid of, was it Jaap Stam for not making enough tackles, which is social cultural, isn't it? Like British football, you get in and you tackle hard. Stam was so clever, he'd never had to tackle.
Brilliant to position himself.
Ferguson realised that, didn't he? So he just positioned himself. But I thought they were getting better at that. The pros are getting much better at cutting angles. Like when they force him where they want to. Which makes a lot of sense. So that's probably good coaching. Yeah.
Good.
Brilliant, gents. We'll have to wrap it up there, but yeah, great last minute substitution there, Ian. Come on for the last 10 minutes, and you fired up, mate. Brilliant.
Took us
Nice
over the
one.
line.
Yeah.
You're a finisher, as Eddie Jones would call it.
The youngster came in, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll yeah, great to see you, gents. So yeah. Thanks. All right, cheers.
Cheers.